Late June here in the remote Japanese countryside, and we have some special guests in this week's video, as my mother and sister-in-law were visiting for a few days. Welcome back to our channel. I'm Stephen, and that's my wife Yumi. We're still in the rainy season here, and have been experiencing rain most days, which makes yard work outside tricky, but we try to give the inside of the house a good clean to help our guests feel comfortable and relaxed. Our daughter Mia is super excited and just can't wait for her granny and auntie to arrive. She woke up early to start helping us with some cleaning, but it kind of turned more into a game with our young puppy Rufy. We were a bit concerned about the weather. There's only 4 flights a day to this island, and the first 2 had been diverted back to the southern mainland of Japan due to adverse weather conditions. But it seemed to be clearing up in the afternoon, and we were even able to tidy up outside a bit. The flight before our families, the third one of the day, had managed to safely land. After picking Mia up from school, we made the short drive to the airport. Our concerns returned as we noticed thick fog on the way there. Seemed to get worse the closer we got to the airport. We have heard stories about how clear it can be in town, but foggy around the airport, but have never experienced it for ourselves. Now we know exactly what those stories were about. Not sure why they chose this location for an airport, but anyway. This was the last flight, so no more chances of getting to the island today. We could hear the plane circling above us, and they did try a couple of approaches, but in the end, diverted back to the mainland. Poor Mia was devastated. Again, it was pretty clear back in town, but not at the airport. That night, Mia didn't want to change her sleeping arrangements and stayed in the room she'd been planning to sleep in with her granny and auntie. We kept in touch with our family, who managed to get a hotel for the night back on the mainland and a seat on the first flight to the island the following day. Next morning, and we were still concerned about foggy conditions at the airport.
You probably find this time of year is maybe quite bad as well. You can't see that bloody runway.
There was a bit more wind about, which maybe was a good thing. It definitely was clearer than the previous day. So after a slightly anxious wait, happy to report, they made it.
のんちゃんとパパほら受け取らなあかんから。ああ、よかったねこれで。ああ、よかった。これでよかった。
Of course, the other member of our family was excited to meet them for the first time. Let the fun and games begin for a couple of days. We started off with a little tour around the space center which we have here on Tanegashima Island. Apparently the most beautiful rocket launch complex in the world. Despite being 72 years old, Mia is still over the moon, no pun intended, at being able to get a ride on her grandmother's back. One of the main reasons for our family's visit was to watch and cheer along Mia at her sports day. She was happy but quite nervous to have them in attendance and was desperate to win her race after finishing second last year. But she ran a fantastic race this year and achieved her goal, first place. Yeah! And you won your race, eh? Despite still being the rainy season with a gloomy forecast, would you believe it? We enjoyed quite sunny weather for a couple of days. Of course, Mia was hoping for the rain and fog to return, so that her granny and auntie would have to stay longer. Our family don't live close to the coast and don't get to experience the beach and ocean very often. We visited a beach with some fantastic caves, which you can walk amongst during the low tide, formed through thousands and thousands of years of erosion. Myself, Yumi and Mia have actually never been here since moving to the island. As surfers, we always tend to focus on the spots with consistent waves, and this particular beach doesn't really have any. Nice for our family to get their feet in the sand again, feeling that natural energy and connection to nature.
You ready now?
I'm ready.
We made our way to another beach. Mia was desperate to show off her surfing skills. We haven't seen many mukade centipedes around the house recently. Maybe they also wanted to say hello to our guests.
In your futon. Yeah, the window. Dead.
Two always ね。
そうね。
We visited the largest town in the north of the island for a tasty lunch.
またかけっこやらなあかんよ。どう？ハウザ？
It's good. Good.
And a stroll through a relaxing Cyathea forest, soaking up some more natural energy and connection to nature. We enjoyed fresh local foods each evening with our family.
Tuna and egg ね。好きかな。いやでもエッグ好きやもんね。いつもお弁当に入れてる。
あ、そう、卵焼き？じゃあ食べるやん。美味しいでほんまに。
これ黄色や。
の。
あ、もう疲れてる。
Along with some handheld fireworks, seeing as the rain was staying away. Mia enjoying every day to the fullest with her granny and aunt, just living in the moment. A good way to be, I reckon. Before we knew it, it was time for them to head off back home. The pouring rain had returned. Of course, Mia was hoping for a cancelled flight.
Wow, すごい雨。白ちゃうか。うん。
頑張れ君、頑張れ。
めっちゃ笑顔。
頑張れ君。
But not to be, as flights were operating and she had to say goodbye. She tried really hard to smile and keep the tears back.
Bye bye.
Wow, look at the biscuit go. It's gone.
わからんどこにいるかも。
You won't see it again now. That's it.
See you next time!